But we didn't have all the schools that are available now. It wasn't necessary. I think there was Converse, Norway, and Center.
Right. Sort of chained down the length along Meadow Street,
right.
really.
That's right. That's right.
Street, yeah.
And of course, then World War II happened, and I guess that after that there was an influx of people in a lot of building.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So you came back from
school. Yeah.
Came back to Long Meadow.
Yeah.
Still on Emerson Road.
Yes.
Right.
Well, no. Well, let me think now. Yes. After junior high. Oh yes. Family was still living on Emerson Road, and I went to AIC and took a few courses there. By this time,
so you finally did take the bus into Springfield.
What?
You did take the bus into Springfield?
Well, no, we drove in.
Oh, you drove in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but then was job hunting time, and I got a job at Mass Mutual.
Oh, nice.
And my best friend, who had grown up in Long Meadow, also worked at Mass Mutual, so that was nice. We'd see each other all the time, because she had moved to Springfield, so.
Well, that was good.
That was it, yeah. And you know, your circle widens as you do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, but all in all, it was, I don't know how to put it exactly, but just that it was pleasant, you know, and there was no crime. Nobody worried about having their purse snatched or having anything like that, and there was not the feeling of that there was something bad might happen, you know.
Right.
My mother never worried about. We didn't even lock our back door. It was just a given that everybody was honest, you know.
Right.
You couldn't do that today, unfortunately. Yeah.
So then, after you got married, you still stayed in Long Meadow, is that right?
Yeah, oh yes. Well, my husband was originally from Worcester, and he moved with his family when his father became employed at the Armory during the war. And then he went to Tech and graduated from that and started AIC. And then he got into the Naval Air Corps as aviation cadet.
So you met at AIC?
No, actually, I met at 71 South Park Avenue, which was where I was spending the weekend with my friend Alice Driscoll. And the boys had met Alice, and so they decided to stop and see if Alice and whoever would like to go to a lawn party. So it wound up that we did go, and that my husband was in that group, and we hit it off quite well. So we started going around together, and he was just going into the service and became an aviation cadet, and finally got his commission as ensign, and we got married then. You couldn't get married until your commission, until that was one of their rules. So that's how we met and how we happened to marry.
71 South Park. Wow.
We were married. Yeah, that was where Alice lived. And somebody that I met recently, named Lisa, who is in one of my favorite women's groups that I belong to, and it's Long Meadow Maternal Association. Oh, yes. She's president of that, and she, funnily enough, lives on South Park Avenue. I'll have to find out sometime if she lives in the same house by chance that I know so well.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's a lawn party?
Oh, you know, a church has booths put up all over the outside.
Like a fair?
Yes, on that idea, yeah. St. Mary's used to have those, too. Yeah.
So they have booths that sell things and
Yes,
refreshments.
and ice cream you
and-
can buy and things like that.
Oh,
Little
okay.
things for the children, but not a great big thing with Ferris wheels. But just in those days, we were satisfied with taking chances on things and, you know, that type of thing. Nothing very.
Okay, well, I
elaborate.
just sort of had like a Monet picture, you know, of you in your long dresses and parasols. That's not it.
Oh no, that's not it. We just went as we were.
Yes.
Everything was very casual.
Yes.
I remember my mother and dad used to do 2 or 3 times in a row. They did the ice cream booth at St. Mary's, which was very nice.
Yes.
Very much fun for all of us to help, you know. Yeah.
So when your husband came back, then you stayed in Longmeadow.
Yes, yes.
Where'd you live
He
then?
liked the town.
What's not to
well,
like?
we bought the house that I'm still in. On Berwick Road. I've lived on Berwick Road for 61 years, I think it is, maybe 62. And it's a nice, quiet street.
Yes.
And Linda Abrams is my neighbor across the street.
It's really funny.
Yeah, very nice neighbor. So I've been there for a long, long time, and I raised our girls in that location. They went to Norway Street School.
Oh, they did?
For the elementary school, and rode their bikes all over town, just like I had done as a kid.
Although town got bigger.
It did. We had nothing but the old pumping station, as it was called, down in that gully next to St. Andrew's Church.
Uh-huh.
And
For
now
swimming
Laurel,
and
yeah,
ice
it was called
skating.
Laurel Pond, and everybody used to ride their bikes over there and go for a dip, have a great time. Yeah.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun. We had a good, a wonderful childhood, and it was still a lovely, quiet town when my girls were growing up. And they all went through the whole Longmeadow system, school system.
They go to the high school too?
Yes, they did, because there was a high school available then. And they went on to college, and everybody turned out just fine.
Oh, that's so good. So the high school went up in the 50s, like
Yes.
the mid-50s.
Yeah, right.
The highway went in, it opened in
Oh,
60.
yes. I really wouldn't hazard a guess on what the date was that went through, but I'm sure you may know
I do
that.
know, yeah, I know that.
No.
And so you know that, I mean, your neighbor, Linda, told us that they scraped off the sandhills to create a roadbed for the highway,
Oh, yes.
which then opened all that area for development,
Oh, yeah.
including the high school.
Oh, yes.
So then Longmeadow really, and here it was post-war.
Yes,
The baby boom started.
That's right.
They started to be school age.
that's right.
So suddenly Longmeadow was growing to the east.
Yes,
a lot.
that's right.
And also doing some, what they call infill of houses built between houses.
That's true. Linda is such a good historian that
Yes.
I'm sure she would have all kinds of dates and information. I just come along for the ride. And
So, well, did you feel the town getting bigger? Or did you?
Oh yes, we did, and of course, in a way, as children, we loved it because it meant more kids, and that was always fun. And but as adults, we didn't like it as well. We liked the open spaces. And that's one of the things I've always loved about Berwick Road, that our houses are not elbow to elbow all the way
Right.
down the road.
Right.
We have some good spaces. There are some that are close, but there's also a nice bunch of open feeling, you know.
Well, because there's wetlands there, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
wetland
so it'll
that
never
can't be built on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's
new
right.
schools were built in that period? That's
Yes, that was the Greenwood Park
This one?
school that we're sitting in right
Wolf
now.
Swamp?
And Wolf Swamp.
Blueberry Hill?
Blueberry Hill over off Condra Street. Glenbrook, which
Glenbrook?
is, yeah,
Williams? Did your kids go to Williams?
No, they went to Norway and then Wolf Swamp
But where was junior high?
And junior high was still where it is now.
Oh, center.
It had not been remodeled and connected,
right,
in the way that the old
Williams
junior
wasn't built yet.
Yeah. So.
But a lot of that new building happened in the 50s and 60s.
Yes, that's right.
All those schools to accommodate all the new children, the baby boomers who came to town.
Yes,
and their parents. Somebody told me they used to drive around and watch houses go up for entertainment on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Because they were going up so fast.
Yes, yes. Only one daughter stayed close by, and she lives in East Long Meadow. And she loves East Long Meadow too, but she has a lot of fond memories of when this Long Meadow was a little smaller and easy to get around with their bicycles, you know.
Yes.
But we always drove everywhere, as far as I remember. My mother had a little Studebaker.
Oh, she did?
And it had a rumble seat. It was about the last of the rumble seat cars. And that was great sport. Not too many people had those. It wasn't that it was flashy, it was just that it was different.
Right.
And it was fun, you know. And,
yes.
And nobody had worry about seat belts. Right. And I remember that there was no safety glass in those days either, because once there was an accident where somebody's windshield was broken, and there was a lot of facial cutting, and because we didn't have all the rules and regulations that make today a little less dangerous, you know.
Safer.
And
so your mother had a car and your father had a car?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So he had the sedan and she had the rumble seat. That's so great.
Yes.
That's okay.
Well, we had just a regular sedan. He had, I think, mostly, I remember Oldsmobiles and I don't know what other kinds of cars. But
so then when you were married, you had two cars too?
Well, people really needed them in those days because, you know, sometimes the children would have to be transported off somewhere. And,
right, and groceries.
And they would.
Groceries.
That's right. That's right. And the dog and the daughters and the
dog.
That's right.
You know what? Our half hour is just about up.
Oh my goodness!
Didn't that go fast?
It did go fast, and it was fun, Kathy.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for coming and talking with us.
You're welcome.
It was great.
I hope I covered interesting subjects,
you
but
did. You did.
I'm just glad that you're doing this. I'm very anxious to see them myself. I especially want to see Linda Abrams one and various others that I've heard about that have done it.
It's going to be great.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Very nice.